When you're generating more gas than you really need, and you have a car that's above, say, 90, say above 90, 1990, they have O2 sensors in there that are looking for the contamination because they know they're supposed to have contamination coming out of the tailpipe. When you add more HHO than is required to make the car efficient, the sensor is telling the computer something's wrong. Although the computer is seeing that everything else that she's looking at, but she's looking at more than just O2. She's looking at pressure, she's looking at temperature, she's looking at timing, she's looking at a whole bunch of stuff. But one of the main controls in making a mixture for fuel is the O2 sensor. So the computer is saying, well, everything is fine, but my emission is too lean or clean. Then she said, well, I make a decision, I put more fuel in. If you do the right amount of gasoline or HHO, okay, if you put enough to make it burn more efficient but not past the threshold. With the O2 sensor, the computer has a parameter, and she's doing this in the parameter, say from 200 millivolts to 900 millivolts, and she's bouncing in there. And sometimes the engine will run lean, and the computer will see it and say, oh, I need more gas. Or she's running too rich, and she said, oh, I gotta take off some of the gas. The computer makes that decision, not you with your pedal. It's the computer deciding. So she's looking at parameters. When you install HHO gas, it tends to stay on the lean side. If you add too much, then it's dropping. The computer says something's wrong. You're out of the parameter, you're out. It takes away the decision making from the O2 and says outside. She has a default program where she goes to and she says, I take over, and usually she puts it in the rich side just in case.
Putting into a system that has no cap, no electronics, put in more than you need.
Then if you don't have no electronics, then there's no decision making by a computer. It's a matter of mechanical. Everything has to be related to how much the engine can handle, how much the engine output, what's the size of the engine, the horsepower, whatever. You make that decision. It's like a carburetor. You have to adjust your carburetor. You can adjust it too lean or too rich, and that will affect the operation of your vehicle. In a system that doesn't have a computer running it, then you can control that, and the more gas you want to add, then you have to mess with the timing. So you add too much gas, you have to mess with the timing.
You put it into a system where no cap, no electronics, and you pump in maybe 2 liters into a smaller engine.
Not 2 liters. I have a 1979 Ford F460, huge engine, with a 750 Holly carburetor, 4-barrel, and I'm putting 2 liters into that, running beautiful.
Can you give me an idea how much an engine with a small engine, you talk about maybe a generator, bricks and strength, 5 horsepower. How many liters do you need?
That's a good question, and I can't answer that. You can speak to Spody. Spody still? Yeah, he's over there. He has worked on stuff like that. He can give you a better idea than I do. I know he's run some, and some of the other guys have run stuff like that. We've been focusing more on the ECUs here, the control side. We can answer honestly that, but there's other guys out there with a lot more experience in that area. Any more questions? Come on, I chose by the questions. I wasn't getting enough questions. Oh, you happy with that answer? I'm sorry. Were you finished? For your engine, 2 liters sounds like it's maybe a little too much unless you mess with the timing. You have to be careful with the timing. And the best way to do that is probably with an emissions tester. Cooler plugs? I wouldn't recommend that. Maybe hotter plugs. No, I'm not answering honestly because I'm thinking because we're burning HHO, we want to we want a quicker spark. So cooler spark. I don't know if that's the right answer. But this year, yes, anything that has a computer on it will need one of these. I can sell him one, but I don't know if he's gonna buy the fact that he doesn't have a computer on his car. But it looks good in his car. See that logo? That looks good in your car. This is $200. This is $200. By the way, we're raffling one today. Well, not today. The raffle's tomorrow, but it'll benefit 100% of the proceeds is going to benefit the school. We donated it to do the raffle to be able to participate in helping the school. So you get for $1, you get a chance at winning one of these tomorrow. And if you're not here, we'll bring it to you, so it's safe too.
What's that control? I mean, is it O2 sensors, map?
This will do 202s and the map if you have it.
Is it variable depending on RPMs
Yes.
of the?
Yes. Well, no, it's not variable. What we have done, and again, this is GreenGasLLC, this is Julio and I. We have worked from about 14 months, and we have determined the way we're going to do it. Our approach to the HHO and to the car is going to be, we're going to feed enough to try to make it efficient. Now, we're going to give the car enough to go from, say, 20% up to 50% efficiency. We've gotten better than that in some cases. But, you know, our goal, our margin is right there. We're going to add a constant flow, so we don't use pulse width modulators. We don't increase more when the idle's higher. We're just feeding it enough to get that burn in the right spot. That's it. Simple. We're gonna keep it simple right now. We're working on. We're working on some more stuff that's gonna include some pulse width modulators to increase and decrease and for some applications. But right now, our goal was to make that car efficient, make it burn nice, make it burn clean, and save at least between 20 to 50%. So we're adding, say, on a 6-cylinder, we're adding half a liter a minute, and we're adjusting this to make up for what we're putting in. That's all. So there's no variable. Once it's set, we accommodate the computer to accept what we're putting in terms of HHO. Period. I know some guys use pulse width modulators and they want more on high RPMs and less in the idle RPM, but we know we're keeping the engine nice and cool and clean, simple, and we're only making up for what we're putting in. Okay?
You install it into a system, and then your cell goes down. We'll go back to the program.
Yes, absolutely. We wire this in conjunction, like we did before, with the cell. If the cell goes down for any reason, this system switches back to all factory settings. Has relays inside that turns everything back to factory. Any other questions? We did good. Want to say something? All right.
Efren, can you explain what the ECUC stands for?
Okay, the ECUC stands for, we just came up with those letters because it sounded right. ECUC, the ECUC. See? No, it's the Engine Control Unit. That's what the computers call. Some manufacturers call it an ECM, Engine Control Module. Most of the manuals we looked in was an Engine Control Unit, which is the computer, Engine Control Unit. And so we call this the Engine Control Unit Controller, ECUC. All right? Any more questions? Go get a dollar, go to the back, give it to the lady over there, she'll give you a ticket, and tomorrow you get a chance to win this. Have fun. All done? You can find us at GreenGasLLC.com. We're always there, 24 hours a day.